Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve.
There it is.
There it is. We're doing it.
It's all happening.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Trying to Be Better podcast with Joel and Steve. My name is Joel.
I'm Steve.
And this is our podcast.
It is today.
It is today. Man, we've got some really great guests today. I'm super stoked.
That's nice.
But how you doing, man? Steve is coming to us hot and crazy. He's coming.
The last 72 hours have been bonkers. My wife and I moved. We talked about that, I think, last week. We started that Friday. I did the thing Friday night, and then we Saturday. Yesterday we were working at our old house, and my hands are just shot. And then last night I played a gig with Exile on O Street, so I got home at like 2 a.m. And then this, like a half hour ago, I was moving a tree, like literally digging a tree out of our old backyard and putting it in the back of my Honda and driving it to the new house. So like it's just been I'm literally sitting in the utility room of my new house because it's the only place that I have good Wi-Fi. That's like my project today. I'm sitting on a table leaf across from the furnace.
You're in the GIMP room.
I'm in the GIMP room. That's 100% correct. Yep.
Oh shit. Well, cool.
So, I've been looking forward to talking to our guests today for quite a while. So
I'm stoked. We're gonna get right into it. Find us on Instagram at Trying to Be Better Podcast. Please email the show at Steve. Take it. I can't do it.
TTBB podcast at gmail.com.
I'm always nervous I'm going to say something inappropriate as if that's never happened on this podcast.
I was going to say, why you'd be nervous about that?
I don't know.
Weird.
I don't know. Without further ado, we have some really awesome guests today. We found out that there's another Lincoln podcast through. Did we find
Danny Renault? Yeah,
that's right. Our previous guest, Danny, kind of let us know. He's like, "Oh yeah, you guys are my other Lincoln podcast." And I'm like, "Wait a minute, there's another."
Yeah,
I'm not your favorite.
Yeah, we were playing second fiddle to you guys, so
which is fine because I listened to it and I'm like, yeah,
right.
that tracks. These guys are
right.
We're way more neurotic. Their podcast is called Always Chillin, and they legit are always chilling. And when you listen to them, I was listening to them on a long walk the other day, and I'm like, man, I just love the way the conversation unfolds between these two guys, and I'm really curious to get to know them and how they do their thing. So,
yeah, welcome. The Always Chillin podcast, Tom and Damon. Hey guys.
Thanks for all those kind words. That's the nicest thing anybody's ever said about us.
Appreciate the love.
You got to butter them up.
Yeah, right. Buttering up the guests. No, man, I went to one of Danny's showings 6 weeks or so ago, and he said what Joel said, and so I had to check you guys out, and I'm like, yeah, I can relate. I mean, I really enjoy your flow and just kind of I made the comment, well, we're very different people, and and I loved your guys' shout back, like, what different? And like,
what do you mean different?
We're just kidding, man.
But as I listen, I'm like, we're probably more similar than we are different, but like,
right.
It's just interesting because, like, A, neither of us are black. B, I've never served. We've never done, I've never served in the military. I've never done time, Joel. I don't think you have either, know. But as we listen to you guys talk, I'm like, we're very like simpatico in a lot of ways. Mm-hmm. And so I think you're insightful and fun. That's really but you guys also hit on some real shit,
Yeah.
And I like how
every once in a while,
we try to do that,
but it all kind of comes through this like flow of just this free form thing, and then there's these little nuggets of like, damn, that was great. So anyway,
I'm glad you guys. Oh, go ahead. I'm glad you guys like it because it doesn't feel like that when we're doing it. It feels like we have no idea what's going on. So I'm glad it comes together in a coherent way outside of this room.
Just trying to give real life experiences.
It's like, it's one of those things like I'm not into like the things that I like entertainment wise and like music are things that require a certain amount of time. Like you invest a little bit of time in it so that you get like this bigger picture rather than these little sound bites of things, right? Like I'm willing to invest. It's not like you turn on and go, I don't like it and move on. You know, it's like you gotta give it 15, 20 minutes and be willing to have that little nugget of awesomeness, you know? So anyway,
I was actually listening to you guys' show this morning while I was in the shower.
Ooh, hey.
and you mentioned the Beatles. You kept mentioning the Beatles, and I was like, damn, I'm surprised at how many Beatles songs I actually know, man.
Yeah.
So I mean, you had me more on that than anything.
Yeah, right on. That's cool. And that's what like I've never actively listened to hip hop in my life.
Really?
Whoa, wow.
What? Yeah, but that's the thing. So Joel,
that's new to me. I didn't know that. Right there. What's that?
I said Joel's got the Beastie Boys vinyl.
Dude,
behind him. I see that.
So definitely two different dudes. Okay, yeah, we get it. We get it.
Okay, so here's a question: is the Beastie Boys considered hip hop?
Oh yes,
yeah,
most definitely, most
totally.
Definitely.
I mean, they started out as punks, but then they found their way to hip hop. Then they kind of circled back to punk and like funk and all that. But I think their main sort of pulse was hip hop rap.
Right.
Yeah. Well, me growing up in the 80s, you know what I mean? We would find ourselves at the same shows, the punks and the B-boys, you know, we were always at the same shows.
Yep.
And that's kind of where I saw the Beastie Boys, you know, in that hole in the wall with the punks over there mosh pitting and we over here standing in our B-boy stand. So yeah, Beastie Boys are an integral part of hip hop.
Totally.
Okay.
And I was thinking about the other day, I think I mentioned this on a long ago episode, like punk was already kind of dead by the time early 90s came around. Yeah. But when I put on NWA, Ice-T, Ice Cube, that pissed my dad off. Right? So like that was punk. You know what I mean? That was a punk energy in the early 90s. So there's a lot of crossover.
A lot. It was all the same. It was all the same message.
Yeah.
I listened to Public Enemy's Fear of a Black Planet for the first time like 2 months ago.
Dude, wow. How was that to your ears?
It was awesome. Like yes, I seriously I was driving along just being like I felt energized and like like hey where
intense,
I felt like
first listen.
It was incredible, man. I loved the shit out of it. And it was I really realized like how like I've really missed a lot.
That's the thing about music, like there's no being late to the party. So like go back to, I mean, if
never dies.
If Fear of a Black Planet got to you, you know, like there's a lot to recover, I think. You know what I mean? Like going back
most
to all
definitely.
that, right?
Well, that's what I'm kind of excited about that actually.
Yeah.
Because now I have this whole new thing to dive into.
Yeah, we'll send you some deep cuts, man. We'll get
you. Do it, man.
Apocalypse 91, that Public Enemy record was my Public Enemy introduction. Like that one was Can't Trust It. And by the time I get to Arizona, that stuff was like blowing my mind as this 12-year-old white kid in Columbus, you know. It's just like
well, there's actually one more album before that. It's called My Uzi Weighs a Ton. And that's the one. That's my Public Enemy. That's where I go.
Nice.
So how did you dudes meet?
Yeah.
I started getting my hair cut here. His wife does a great cut. You know, I got out of the Marine Corps and I was like, I like to get a fade. Going to the chain barbershops around here wasn't really doing it for me. So I came in here one day, I got a haircut and I was like, that's a fucking badass haircut. And I'm going to come back every 2 weeks until, you know, they're not cutting hair anymore, I guess. And it just kind of evolved into us being friends, hanging out, doing a podcast. So
that's cool. Yeah. So are you guys both Nebraska people? Like born
and raised? Yeah,
born and raised in Lincoln. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. Well, kind of me too. I moved around a little bit after like my sophomore year of high school. My dad changed careers, so we moved Alabama and Virginia, and I moved out to California for a couple of years and then came back here. And Joel's, you know, you were what, Ord and Columbus and Lincoln.
like small town Nebraska growing up, like Columbus, and then Ord, and then Lincoln for college. I lived in LA for a few years for grad school, but yeah, pretty much. Yeah, this has always kind of been home. Like I consider myself a Lincolnite because this is where I spent the most time.
Yeah, I had a few years in California too when I was in the Marine Corps, but yeah, I came right back.
Yeah, I think you said you were in San Diego. Is that right?
29 Palms, California.
Okay.
So a couple hours away from San Diego, but
29 Palms.
Yeah,
I
don't know if it sounds like a spa or like
it's not
like a romance novel or something.
No, neither one of those things. There's a lot of meth. A lot of meth houses. It's like it's basically it's in the middle of a desert, right? It's not. It sounds tropical, but it's not. Right. It's in the middle of the Mojave Desert, and it's all there is the base. So it's surrounded by crack shacks and massage parlors, quote unquote,
right?
And tattoo places and used car dealerships, and that's pretty much all the town is. So.
Nice.
Wow, that sounds kind of gangster, man.
It sounds like Antelope Valley. Like, yeah, we when I lived in Valencia, just up the road a piece, my wife's brother lived in Palmdale. So it sounds like this oasis. It is not an oasis at all, right? Like it's gnarly.
Yeah. Well, if it has the word palm in it, it's usually not Palm Springs. That's out in the middle of the desert,
right?
In between a bunch of mountains. Yeah, Palmdale, 29 Palms. If it has palm in the name, stay away. Don't do it.
Trying to get you. They're trying to get you here.
Yeah, that's a trick.
Marketing.
So, where'd you guys go to school? Like, are you guys similar in age? Like, you guys were not pals before coming into the barbershop? So
I actually graduated high school in 1994, man. If that'll let you know where I'm at.
Yeah, he's a little older than me. I graduated high school in 2009, so he's
okay.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a gap, but
yeah. Well, same here. Joel and I are 10 years apart age-wise.
Okay.
Yeah. I graduated in 98. My brother was 94, so I kind of know that Gen X life, I guess, a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I want to start, like, I've just been itching to say this, so I know it's kind of a hard pivot, but
let's roll, baby. Let's roll.
We don't do it like you guys. You guys are smooth with it. But what have you learned about the art of conversation? Because I think that's what I've been chomping at the bit to ask you to, because Steve and I go back and listen to our stuff, and it's like, sometimes we're rolling with it well, sometimes it's herky jerky. That's just who we are. But like, you guys consistently seem to have this wonderful like creation or curation of a conversation. Like, what is that meant to you? has that changed the way you see the world? Like, what has the podcast done for you?
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely an active part of having a conversation that we kind of had to learn. Our first few episodes are definitely not any kind of smooth. It didn't sound any kind of good. You know, I listened to our first episode.
Some dead spots.
I listened to our first episode the other day, and I was like, man, this is embarrassing. But it's just, it's kind of just taking those conversations and being willing to, push it a little farther. Like, this is where I would normally stop with this conversation, but let's ask a couple more questions. Let's dig into it just a little bit deeper. And I found that just digging that little tiny bit deeper often leads to a pretty good conversation. So that's definitely been part of it. And then a good part of it is we just vibe, man. We're just on the same page most of the time. Even when we're not, we can do it respectfully. We're not afraid to have a conflict between ourselves, because we understand that conflict doesn't mean fight.
Right.
So, I can disagree with him. He can disagree with me. Nobody's going to have any hard feelings about it. And at the end of the day, it's going to be a better conversation for it. So,
and I myself, I'll just kind of brief it. I'm the who, what, why, when, and where kid, so if you can't give me that, then our conversation probably won't go too far, So, and like I said, growing up in the family and being in the atmospheres and being a barber, and I always have to listen.
Yeah.
I've always been able to listen first and not say too much.
Yeah. Yeah. I am shocked sometimes when I used to get my hair cut. My hair I haven't been cut in a while, but like, before I was actively in therapy, like I would talk to my barber and she would just ask, how you doing? And I'd be willing to just unpack probably way too much to her. You know what I mean? Like, I'm sure you've heard it all, right?
Oh yeah. I've heard it all. I've seen it all. And just being a barber, man, I've been to graduations, sporting events. I've been to it all, man. And that's I don't know if it comes natural with me or why I'm in this profession or not. It's conversation rules the nation. I've always been taught that by my dad. So if you want to get it done, you want to get over it, you want to get through it, we got to talk about it. Some volumes need to be heard, some facial expressions may need to be seen, but all in all, we need to talk about this.
There's a lot of wisdom in that, dude.
So you're saying like, instead of just like repressing it and shoving it down and just using like silent scorn as a weapon, that's not super productive.
Yeah, we got to talk about it with me. We may need to yell, we may need to whisper, but it's going to be talked about today.
Yeah, there's been that element of our show too that I think has helped a lot, just in that, you know, I'm a white dude and he's a black dude, and right now, you know, white dudes and black dudes sitting at a table together and talking about stuff is kind of it's important, you know.
You Damon, you just got in a car accident, correct?
Yeah.
So I really appreciated what you said about the lady that hit you.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Which is like, be cool.
Be cool, man.
Be cool.
Like everybody's standing.
Yeah, man. And like, it really, like, that kind of hit me right in the feels, because like that sentiment needs to be said so loudly, and maybe silent, you know, quietly too. But that like, this lady, like, she may not speak the best English. She's not from this country, and there's a lot of you know, sentiment around that situation.
Oh, definitely. Right.
And so the fact that you came out and spoke truth to, don't be an asshole just because she's not from around here.
Yeah.
Like, that's not right.
Not
like that really, I thought, yeah, man, like that's, I thought, thank you for saying that, you know, like that's
more than welcome.
That's a message that needs to be said a lot. I think, like, just be nice. Yeah. This lady, you know, she wasn't intentionally targeting you. You
I
know,
mean, come on, man.
It was a fucking accident.
Yeah,
that's what they call them, those.
Right.
I mean, that's kind of the appeal of Damon, right? It's like he's always, like, the name of the show, Always Chillin. That's because I'm like, what's up, man? He's like, I'm always chilling.
I'm
like,
always chilling.
Like, he's just cool. No matter what's going on, he's gonna be cool. You know, despite the stressful situations he's been in, despite his past, he's, you know, the nicest dude I've probably ever met. So.
Well, that energy just takes so much out of you, you know, and I've been that guy. I've been that flawed where you hit my car.
Yeah.
And it never works out. Somebody ends up getting taken away. You know what I mean?
Yeah, right.
So now I'm able to butter my bread, you know, because I've been through that, and just keep everybody cool, man.
I mean, honestly, what's the secret? Because, like, I mean, in the last few years, I've taken and we've talked about a lot on this show. Like, our vibe here is like always trying to bring it back to how can we be better people, better humans, better citizens, you know, better husbands, better friends, all that shit. But like, I'm always kind of curious, like, how can somebody maintain that inner zen, that inner peace, that inner contentment, regardless of the shit show that's happening around them? Like, what's your secret?
I think we can both. I think, you know, we both. I mean, I'll take it first. You know, I've been in and out of cells, man, since I was 16 years old. You know, I was a problem child, and that forced isolation. I mean, when you hear people say those walls talk, yeah, they really do talk, and they tell the truth, and they won't shut up until you get your mind right. So having that and knowing I had that power all along.
Yeah.
Oh,
wow.
Yeah, and that's where you know, that's why I call it the smack yourself moment. Look in the mirror and smack the shit out of yourself. Because it's you.
Yeah.
Joel and I, we've talked about it. I don't know if you guys are aware or not, but we're both, you know, recovered, however you want to put it, alcoholics, and like, so that smack we call, in quote the rooms, the moment of clarity.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, where it's like, oh, this is
me.
all, it's me.
It's me.
It's not anybody else but me.
It's me.
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm the fucking problem. And also I'm the only one that can set myself free regardless of what's going on around.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot. That takes a lot. And since I've gained this power, I've gained the reputation of being an asshole.
It's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, it's the weirdest thing. It's the weirdest thing. And I'm like, well, I was an asshole before.
Mhm.
But what do you think that is it people like not really down to like be around somebody that's okay with themselves? Is that it?
Yeah.
That's
It's an
real.
attack because what would they say? I was accused of not having any feelings because I was like, well, anything directly outside of my circle, I'm not supposed to pay attention to.
Yeah.
I want to help everybody, but I can't.
Mhm.
So I
Right.
can't spin that around in my mind any longer because I got to do what I got to do within my circle.
You got to
Yeah.
draw the line somewhere.
Got to draw the line. Got to
Yeah.
draw the line. I would love to help everybody in the world, but I know I just can't. So why stress myself out with it?
Mm-hmm.
Something profound you said on an episode that I listened to recently about prison, about being on the yard, and about how I think it was something like you couldn't make eye contact with everybody, you couldn't connect with everybody. So there was this, I mean, just for self-preservation, right? Like you couldn't necessarily let everybody in, so you had to be internal. That can go either way. And I'd be interested to hear Tom's perspective too about the military. Like, how does that self-preserve? How do you? I mean, you've probably seen examples of both, or maybe experienced it. Like one way that self-preservation shit takes somebody down an even darker road, or that self-preservation takes you down a path of like resiliency.
Sure. Well, for me, one of the things that I learned from my squad leader, amazing guy, I still kind of idolize him to this day, is that, good guys, bad guys, that's a matter of perspective.
Mm-hmm.
We think we're the good guys. They think they're the good guys. Everybody's trying to do what they think is the right thing to do. Whether it actually is or not, everybody is approaching something from a standpoint of, I think this is the right thing to do, just like I am. So when I'm confronting somebody, I think I'm doing the right thing. They think they're doing the right thing. And that's just an important thing to have in mind, especially from an aspect of changing someone's mind. It's not all about you're wrong and I'm right. It's, we both think we're right and we need to come to an understanding about it. So learning about that has been really helpful after getting out of the Marine Corps, obviously. And then when I was in grad school, I read this book. I don't remember what it was called, but it's about this concept of getting outside of your own box. Because a lot of people live in this box where they're like, oh, that guy cut me off and he did it specifically to inconvenience me. And, where I'm trying to get to work and that's the most important thing in the world because it's the most important thing to me. A lot of people don't recognize like, oh, that guy probably has somewhere that he's trying to get to too. Maybe his wife's in labor. Maybe he has an emergency going on and maybe I don't need to be mad about him cutting me off, So the concept of getting out of your box and kind of understanding things like everybody else is, the main character in their own story. Like nobody is specifically out to get me. Nobody is specifically doing things to harm me. And if they do, then maybe I just need to make them aware of it and they'll probably be, apologetic at the very least. But, nobody's out to get you.
Generally. Tom, I think it was, one of your recent ones you were talking about, I would call it social anxiety, but for you, it's more like self-preservation anxiety is related to the service and like going to places that are unfamiliar and being around, like always having to kind of be on guard because you just never know when the shit's going to happen. And I really appreciated your, I kind of understand that, but like you explained that in a way that was powerful and meaningful to me. Just to like, this is my frame of reference for that is Matt Damon in the first Bourne movie. Right? Where he's like, I know that guy's got a gun underneath his truck seat. I know how much that guy over there weighs. I know that there are 4 exits in this room, and I don't know how I know any of that. Right. And that, so that while you were talking about that, that's the picture I had in my head. But like I don't want to say this. Like sometimes it takes a lot of bravery just to go out to the grocery store.
No shit.
Well, yeah. And I'm really glad that resonated with you. I'm glad that you appreciated me saying that because, now that we kind of have a platform, not that it's a huge platform, but, a lot of people don't understand what it's like to get out of the service as a veteran. Like, a lot of people have this impression of what being a veteran is or what it should be like. And it's not necessarily the case. So one of my goals here is to kind of, shed some light on stuff that, maybe veterans aren't usually very quick to talk about. A lot of my friends, they're not going to talk about their social anxiety on a show that people listen to. But, I think those conversations are important to have just from a understanding my fellow man standpoint,
Totally.
My wife is a counselor, mental health counselor, and like that's one of her favorite areas to work in is veterans and PTSD, because of what you just said. It's like they come out of the service and for the most part, society at large is not in tune with that.
Yeah.
And just to destigmatize that.
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
a big
And
thing.
I'm not saying that everybody needs to fully understand the veteran experience or be aware of it. I just, it's just something to think about sometimes.
Yeah,
sure.
I'm also struck with too. Like I was just thinking about, so in my path recovery, kind of the thing we have to do in order to kind of keep sober or whatever is to help other people. And there was this cat that was he was down at the pen for maybe a year and a half. And I remember like he got released and I was connected to his family and we like all went out to this barbecue joint to like celebrate that. And I remember 15 minutes into that, he just got up and he went outside and I was like, he was gone. I thought he went to the bathroom and I was like, it's been longer than that. So I went outside and he was smoking. He was pacing in the fucking parking lot.
Yeah, this is too much.
It's too much. It's exactly what he said. It's too much. Like the world had moved on and the world was rolling and he was living on just the other side of a wall was living this different world. And it was just like my whole perspective on shit changed. Like I saw a restaurant differently from that point on. You know what I mean? Just like, this is a lot, like the chow hall at the pen versus this barbecue joint couldn't be further from each other.
That's a high stress moment. Like I said, I think, I had a deal in Walmart, man. It was a little after I got released and so many people swinging and coming towards me. And I sprinted. I bought about a 4-3 out of that place, man. And my wife's like, "What the hell?" I'm like, I can't do this." When I went in, phones were still buttons, and coming out, and it was just.
Wow.
I ended up holding myself up back in the house for a week.
How long were you inside then?
I've been 3 different times, man. A total of 15 years total.
Okay, that's a chunk of change right there.
Yeah, so 5, and a little over 5.
Dude, and what can happen in 5 fucking years? I mean, that's a time warp, dude.
A lot can happen in 6 months, even being locked in your own house.
Right.
So that's something that like I've never done time behind bars, but I spent a decade isolated with booze and drugs, right?
Same thing, bro. Same thing. That's a mental prison.
Yeah. Sure. Well, I appreciate you saying that because I agree, and that's like when I started sobering up, I had to digest that like I lost a decade of my life, really.
Right. Most definitely.
And so like I mean, thanks for saying that because that's really how it felt to me when I had my moment of clarity and thought, oh my God.
Yeah. It blew my mind when I got sober too, that people were saying like the growth stopped when you started actively drinking. It's like I got sober at almost 21 and I was still fucking 13. You know what I mean? Like I didn't know how to, I didn't know how to.
That fight, and then there's that fight. Getting out when I went in, I'm like I was 28, and I'm getting out at almost. I was like, wow. Now I got that fight now.
So when did you become a barber? Like, is that something did you have like a flash of like, I'm going to do this or like,
I was a kid around here in the 80s, man, growing up in the hip hop era where we could only see rappers on videos every weekend, and we couldn't get the gold chains, couldn't get the $100 sneakers, but we could wear those haircuts.
Oh.
And I had an aunt, that was I call her the Renaissance woman, man. That lady did everything. My Aunt Debbie, man. I was finding myself running to her house like every other day to get a haircut, new haircut. I saw Big Daddy Kane, and now I need the high top fade. So I started bothering her so much, bro. I knocked on the door and she just handed me the clippers. Here, take this shit.
That's awesome.
You do it.
You do it.
You want this so bad, you figure it out.
You do it. Yeah. So man, I was about 11 then. So I like to say I've been toying with the clippers probably since I've been 11 years old.
Wow.
I was the barber in prison for 4.5 years. So I was, I've always been good at this. I've always had a knack. I can talk. Let's make it happen.
So you say you were the barber in prison. Was that a formal thing or informal?
A little bit of both,
Yeah,
I guess.
Okay. All right.
They like if you had a job on the streets, construction, whatever, and they have that available in there, they'll try to keep you with your career. So when you do get out, you can bounce back with that. So I was like, yeah, I'll do it. It had been in my background. They knew I played with some clippers, so it kind of kept me out of a lot more trouble than I probably could have got into in there.
Sure.
It was a 6-hour shift.
It's better than some jobs I've heard about in the joint. Like, I mean, there's a lot of fucking work you could do in there that would be a lot more intense.
A lot of slavery, bro.
There we go. I mean, I was just talking to my wife too about this, like, because I took recovery meetings into a prison for a while, and the guys would come in there and be like, "Yeah, I fucked up yesterday." I'm like, "How are you getting fucked up in here?" And it's like, "Oh, dude," and that's when like the what I thought was going on was completely fucking broken wide open, and I was like, "Oh, this is all a fucking system rigged against these people. There's nothing about this that's
nothing.
Yeah, never mind.
One of the worst, if not the worst, prison systems in the country right now.
Yeah,
Nebraska.
Yeah, real. I think they're over 150% capacity in there now, and no education for the guys.
Yep.
My first prison number, they had Southeast Community College, Omaha Metro, computer, and took everything out.
Oh,
yeah, budget cuts.
Budget cuts, baby.
They kept GED in there, but there's college educated guys, and they don't need, they have master's degrees in here. There's veterans in here that they don't need GED. So it was more to, like you said, designed to keep them behind. And I can't remember which number this was, but I remember I had to go to mental health. I had to go down there and see a counselor. And I remember walking past one of the shops. And if there's one color that stands out in this state, is that Husker red, right? And I remember seeing this Husker red. I'm like, that's the most colorful thing I've ever seen in 3 years, right? So I'm like, wow, what's going on here? Well, this is before they rebuilt the east side of the stadium. Everything in that stadium, everything in every state office building was made by an inmate. The furniture, the art on the walls, the desks, it's all slavery, bro.
That's Cornhusker
State Industries. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, they got these guys building houses, but when you get out, you can't be placed. You got to go fend for yourself with $100 check. It's like, wow, this guy's been building modular homes for 15 years and he can't get out and get that job. You can't have a job waiting for these guys. It's all slavery, man. It's a real bad deal in there.
Oof. It's almost by design, right?
By design.
Almost.
Yeah, exactly.
Almost.
Not even almost.
It's almost like that's the fucking point.
That's the point.
Wow.
Yeah, that's another one of the things that with the show I think is important for us to talk about. Like Damon's been to prison. There's a lot of stigmas that come with that as well. And doesn't mean he's a bad guy. Doesn't mean
no. I know probably 3 real geniuses in there right now, but I mean, not every guy in there is a dumb dropout or a drug addict. There's a lot of dudes in there was victim of circumstance and maybe he had to do what he had to do to feed his family or whatever and whatnot. I know a lot of guys that broke the law once and never came back. I know a lot of guys while I was in there that came back 4 or 5 and 6 times. And it's like, where's this guy at? And I don't want to be that. And then the word institutionalized.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's something you were talking about. Well, in recovery, it's a big deal. Like there's one of the steps is, you came to believe that you could be restored to sanity. Right. And so what if you've never known sanity? Like, what if your life has been known nothing but violence and chaos and uncertainty since you were a kid? And so that thing of like, you come to these rooms with these people that obviously kind of know what they're talking about, but don't really in the individual's mind. Yeah, but you don't know.
You don't know.
You don't know what's actually.
Right.
And then Joel and I were just talking about this before you guys signed on. Kind of a mutual friend of ours. He got to that place where he's like, I can't do this. I can't live this life that you people are projecting. Even though I see you doing it, I can't do it. So I think I'm just gonna go back to my other thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's a very similar that like addiction is a form of institutionalization.
Exactly.
Like get out and like, I know that looks like the promised land, right? I can see it on top of that shiny hill, and I hear y'all talking about it, and I hear y'all saying that you've been there and you've seen it and you've stood on top and you've seen the vistas and the freedom, and it sounds awesome. And I know that I'm never gonna make it.
Oof.
Woo!
Right. And so that's where it's so hard, I guess.
Yeah.
You took me back to, I think it was my second prison term. Man, I was so wild out here, man. I mean, it's so foggy. I don't remember, but I basically told the judge, man, I gotta lay it down, man, or I'm a goner, man. I need this time right now.
Yeah.
I wouldn't give a damn if you gave me 10 years right now, man.
Yeah.
So I'm feeling you there. You got me hyped up on that one, bro.
Good. Like
I'm blown away by the similarities. Just as we're talking, I'm like, fuck yeah. I mean, that's a whole experience and that's like the point of what this whole podcast is about, what your podcast is about, what this particular episode is about, is the possibility of commonality and identification, and how fucking important and healing that is to community.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, even with the military, like coming back with PTSD, it's like I see all these people living normal lives. I see all these people that took a different path that's not necessarily mine. And I want to be there, but it takes a lot more effort for me to be there than it feels like it takes other people to be there. Like I have to consciously make a decision to be that way. And it seems like that's everybody else's default, So it's it's work, man. That's what it is. It's work.
I totally like in recovery, it's almost like you get to that room and you see somebody who's been sober, and you're trying to stay sober 2 days, and you some dude comes up to you and says they've got 10 years. It's like, either A, you're fucking lying. There's no way. There's no fucking way you stayed sober on weekends too, like weddings, Husker games, all of it.
Husker games.
Really? Like, that's bullshit. Or that whatever they're doing is some sort of thing that you can't attain. It's like, I can't see that for me. That's cute that you have that, but I can't see that for me.
Yeah, it's like, your life looks great. Personally, I'm having a lot of fun sitting in the basement in the dark by myself.
Ooh,
yeah,
that gets me hyped. I'm like, that's my shit right there. I don't like to party. I like to lay on the ground and check my pulse. You know what I mean? That's my kind of party.
Getting out of a rut like that, man. And sometimes it's like, you look at other people and it's like, do you guys not feel this down sometimes? Do you guys not feel this way? And it just makes you feel like an alien, Like I came back from the military and I felt like a total outsider. No one understands what I'm going through. Nobody can relate to me. It looks so easy for everyone else. And maybe that's just my perspective. It probably wasn't easy for them either, but it's like everybody else is doing it. And I just don't, like, what's wrong with me that makes it so hard? And it ruins your self-esteem. It ruins your self-image. You're like, I'm never going to be able to be a part of society again.
That's, you said something, Tom, about the same podcast we were just talking about a minute ago, but like and this is kind of a thing in recovery too. It's like, you have fashioned out a life for yourself that is satisfying for you and rewarding. That doesn't have to meet any criteria. Yeah.
And I mean, I think that's something that maybe everybody could benefit from. I think it was the last show. I see, we'll say out loud to my wife, like, we're having a great relationship moment right now. Like, this is really fun. I feel really connected to you. This is great. And I mean, doing stuff like that, frankly, has helped my relationship immensely. And it's also kind of bled into the rest of my life. Like, I'll be driving home from work and I'll be like, I'll pull onto my street and I'll be like, wow, my life is amazing.
Shit's dope.
Yeah. All I'm doing is driving to a house that I own. I'm like, this is cool, man. I'm doing something good.
That's not a small thing. I can totally relate, man.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes you got to step outside of your body and appreciate a moment, like,
yes,
my brain tells me this sucks, but objectively it really doesn't.
that's like, I mean, that's the kind of the path I'm on, dude. It's like, that's like real mindfulness where you can you can appreciate the circumstances and smile to whatever's happening. And, I had a similar, we had a first house guest stay with us this weekend. And so, I teach, so like, I'm not in class right now. So I'm like, I'll clean the whole house. Right. And plus when I clean, I go bananas crazy. Like my wife said, you're mething out. I'm like, she came home and I'm like scrubbing in between the tiles in the kitchen. She's like, dude, did you stay sober today? But like, I was like, I don't need anything more than I have. And I like had this overwhelming moment. Like, I've got this little house, 1,000 square feet. I don't need anything more than I have right now. And that is that's a trip.
Yeah, it's and if the first time you have that moment, it just feels really good. You're like, is this what being content feels like? Like I spent a long period of my life not knowing what just being content was.
Right.
It's always like, oh, if you're not grinding, you're not doing anything. If you're not reaching for more and more and more, you're not doing anything. But that's not the case, man. I've felt what being content feels like, and it feels good. And that doesn't necessarily mean I'm done. Yeah, and, everything else is just icing on the cake.
Right. I think. Well, yeah, I'm not. Yeah, I'll go ahead and admit this pandemic, the gift and the curse that it is, really helped me. I mean, I started getting outside.
Mm-hmm.
I've never been a outdoorsy nature kind of dude, but I am now. Yeah. I know what plants I can eat now, and if I'm lost in the forest.
Yes.
So it's helped me a lot. I got to know myself a little more. And like Tom said, man, I'm like, this shit's just dope.
Yeah.
And I think we can all say ultimately, none of us should probably be here, but we are.
Right.
I'm on borrowed time.
And it takes a man to admit that.
Yeah, that was a big thing for me too. Like I went to Afghanistan fully expecting not to come back, and then you do, and it's like,
and then you do, and it's same thing with prison. I thought I was gonna get shanked up the first day.
Yeah, and you're just like, okay, now what do I like? I didn't have a plan for this. Like I was fully expecting to not be here anymore, and now I'm living this life that I didn't necessarily plan for.
You almost and that's different with addiction, but like you almost have to go there. Right. Like you almost have to accept, because at the fundamental level, you're strapping on that uniform as a willing participant in sacrificing your life. I mean, that's part of it, right? That's got to be part of it. So it's like you almost have to go there and accept that.
Yeah. And honestly, like when you're overseas, like if you get killed, your mom gets a $500,000 life insurance policy. So I'm over there thinking like, oh, if I die, at least my mom is set up, like I'm like, I have this mindset now where I'm like, if I die, it'll be a good thing.
Don't get no realer than that.
See, and then when you bring that home with you, and it's, that's a problematic mindset to have, and it's something that you have to get over. But there was a period of my life where I'm like, hopefully mom's not listening to this. She probably will, because she's super supportive. Hi, mom.
Hi, mom.
But yeah, like I was in Afghanistan. Like, oh, honestly, if I die, it'll make a lot of people's lives a lot easier.
Wow.
Yes,
that's a component. That's a component of addiction too.
Yeah.
Because
like if I clock out tonight, then other people can at least relax.
Well, because I'm a source of chaos in these people's lives, and on some fucking level, I know that. And so if I remove myself from this equation, the storm will be over. I mean, that's the lie, but there's some truth to that too.
Yeah, exactly. And I relate to that a lot too, because it's like you leave the Marine Corps, or you leave for the Marine Corps a certain person, and you come back and you're not that person anymore. And you feel like you're letting people down. I'm extra irritable. Dealing with my rage outbursts is probably people don't like it. So that it kind of carries on. Like if I wasn't here now, it probably still would be easier for people. So it's just once you get in that mindset, it's really hard to get out of it. You can spin it however you need to make it apply to any situation. So you just gotta break it.
Yeah, my equivalent of that was I'm my mother's only son. Like I said, I was wild in these streets, man. So I always felt like she knows where I'm at. She knows I'm safe to a point.
Right.
She knows I ain't in these streets, and I ain't gonna be murdered and found in a ditch somewhere. She can come see me. She can see I'm healthy. She can see I'm breathing. And that's what got me through. And then the lady wrote me a letter every day. I would get a letter from my mother every single day. And that
plus one for moms.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Mama's boy. I'm a self-proclaimed, man. Mama's boy.
That's fucking beautiful, especially because, like, you know, the difference between, I don't know. I'm just blown away by, like, she knew where you were. She knew that she could come at a certain time and that you would fucking show up because it got you off the unit. And so then you're in the visiting room and she knew, like, there he is. He's okay. He ate today. He's alive.
Yeah. And seeing that in her eyes, it's like, damn.
Yeah.
That's something I don't know that I can ever pay back my mom, which is that for a while she didn't know where I was.
Yeah.
I try every day.
You know?
And hey, Mom, I know you listening too, but yeah, I try to spoil my mom every day with something because I know what I've done to her.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And even till this day, my wife kind of makes fun about it. I'll call my mom, you know, she's so used to getting calls about me. It's not hello, it's what? And I deserve it. I'm like, hey, Mom.
That's a thing. That's a big thing in like early recovery is like, call your parents.
Yeah.
No matter what your relationship is, call them. Whether it's once a week, start with once a month, move to once a week. And here's the important part. Ask them how they're doing.
Yeah.
And then after a few years, maybe they won't answer the phone with, "Are you okay?"
Yeah. What now?
Yeah. It might take a little while, you know.
Yeah, I'm still working.
Me too, man.
Same.
My parents and I lived a minimum of 1,500 miles apart for 20 years.
Oh, wow.
Right. I lived in Nebraska. They were in Virginia or Korea. My dad was in the service. And then like when they retired, they moved 3 miles away from me.
Ooh.
And that was
that's different.
It's a dynamic change for sure, you know, but we're you know, my dad passed a year ago, but you know, we're figuring it out. That's the one thing that I can do is, you know, try and be there for my mom. You know, that's how I can, you know, and that's not perfect, you know. I'm smiling as I say this, we're different people. But you know, I love her, she loves me, and we just trying to, it's that we're like, when I say we, I mean me and my wife and my kids, like we're going 24/7. Like we're just, the kids got activities. We're always not chilling. We are moving. You know what I'm saying? And so it's hard to like find, it sounds shitty, but it's like hard to find time to just sit for a few hours, you know, especially like right now.
Yeah.
And but like Christmas, I mean, it's friggin' Christmas, and we're like, our entire life is in boxes right now, you know. So but the thing is like, this is a temporary deal, and it's a problem of abundance, right? And so it's like, this is, you know, this Christmas is gonna be weird, you know, so we'll get our shit together, and next year maybe we'll do the thing, you know.
When wasn't Christmas weird? I mean,
always.
That's
always
the fucked up
weird
thing about the holidays. It's like we have these expectations, like,
and it gets weird,
and it always gets weird because we have it's our fault.
Yeah, he's right. Damn, I never looked at it like that. It's always weird.
Yeah, my wife just laid that on me today, man. I'm like, man, Christmas sucks this year. We're broke, blah, blah, like we're spending so much money. And my wife's like, how is that different from every other year? I was like, yeah, you're right. You know what? This is it. She's like, every year it's fine. Every year it's okay.
Yeah.
Why worry about it this year?
Yeah. It's never the same. It's like somebody asked me the other day, like, I think we were having dinner, and they're like, what was your favorite? It was last night. I was with my in-laws and my wife and a friend of hers. And they're like, what was your favorite present growing up? And I was like, that one Christmas I got the Game Boy, everything came into place, right? Like it was all there. Everything was great. And it's like, why? It's like very alcoholic to be like, well, every year it's got to be that level of feeling. It's got to feel like everything's right. And I get what I want. And it's like, dude, I'm causing my own chaos there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, especially as you get older and Christmas becomes, less about the Game Boy and more about seeing
it's
mom.
on you.
Yeah. And then you're the one that has to buy the Game Boy. Right. Yeah.
That's real.
It's different.
See, I get to be kind of a selfish ass because like I don't have kids, so I can just I can buy myself that Game Boy if I guess.
Well, see, that's
it. I'm not waiting for somebody else to give it to me.
Yeah, that's why Christmas is difficult for my wife. She's like, I don't know what to get you, because when you want something, you just buy it, because we don't have kids either. So it's like, we can just buy it whenever we want. And I mean, we're not rich, but if I want, I want to buy a video game or whatever, it's not a big deal.
Right.
Oh, my kids are grown. I don't have any. I got a 14-year-old left, and I'm probably just gonna give him the money.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, these kids today. I mean, I think he would probably be more happier with that. So I'm alleviating all stress levels. I'm just
there. You go.
Here's your money. We'll go whenever you want to go.
I don't know how thick
the thing your dad did. The
pop, 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 pop. Yeah, I know. I can do the pop, 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 pop. Yeah, I learned that about 15 years ago. My dad had a way of counting his money, man. It sounded like bullets coming out of a gun, man.
Boom,
and I used to practice this and practice this. Almost broke my thumb one time.
Like snapping the bills, like as they're folded and they're open.
Oh, yeah, he would snap the bills. I'm like, how do you do that?
That's amazing.
Yeah, man, that old player shit right there.
Did it come out of a money clip?
Almost definitely.
Oh God.
Almost definitely.
Yeah.
I used to watch my dad shave with a straight razor, man.
Oh wow.
Yeah, my dad was a man's man.
Do you do that when you're barbering? Do you do straight razor shit?
Oh yeah, my 11th finger, bro. Hell yeah. My 11th finger.
There's nothing. When you're sitting in that chair and they have that straight razor to your neck, you're never more vulnerable than that.
Yeah, Sweeney Todd, but
yeah, right.
I mean, this is for anybody listening, you guys too. Like, this is an old school barbershop, man. If you're in Lincoln and you want an old school barbershop, check it out. Like, I'd be remiss if we didn't plug how cool this barbershop is. But it's legit an old school barbershop. They got the barber pole spinning. They do the hot cream. They do the straight razor shave. It's
hell, I might come in just to get a shave.
Yeah, I could use a shave. I don't know if you can tell, but
we try to traditional barber arts. Is what we call it. My wife's been a barber 34 years now.
Oh wow.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys listen to the show. She was my instructor when I met her, so I was kind of hot for the teacher. Got to teach her. Yeah, now she's my wife and she cuts hair next to me. So she instilled a lot of those traditional barber arts and the values and just the old school ways, man. And I grew up across the street from a barbershop, Wade's Barbershop, 23rd and R Street.
Oh, nice.
And I don't know if you guys remember Wide World of Sports.
Yeah. Howard Cosell.
Yeah, I had to wait every Saturday to get the highlights. Well, you remember the emblem, right?
Yeah.
I remember seeing this van across the street from the barbershop. I was like, wow, that's Wide World of Sports. So I go in there, ask my mom for $5. That's how much a haircut costs. And I go in there, and it's Mike Rozier being interviewed by the Wide World of Sports.
Get out.
It wasn't Cosell, though. It wasn't Cosell. And he was going to get his Heisman Trophy the very next night.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah, so it was kind of instilled in me. I knew what I was gonna do, even from then.
Mike Rozier, that was the glory days.
Yeah, that was the man. That's still my favorite guy, man. That's still my favorite guy.
Him and Jarvis Redwine.
Jarvis Redwine, yes, sir. The Afro, World Be Free. Yeah, I remember those guys, man.
Those two things I said, that's literally everything I know about Husker football.
That's it. That's it.
Yep. Yeah, I'm
good dudes.
I'm totally not. That's another thing that, like, I'm just not a sports ball guy. I never really have been. I'm into music. I never played sports. I was never good at it or had any desire to get hit in pursuit of getting the sport, the points thing. I never cared about that. I was happier with a guitar and a bong, frankly, but
right. Well, I've been in a couple of those rooms. My wife used to make fun of me. I think I just admitted to her last year or something that I was in the band. I played everything brass.
Oh yeah, like marching band.
Yeah, and she called me a band nerd, man.
Yeah,
I'm like, what?
That's all right, man. I that's where I learned how to party, was in marching band.
Yeah,
it was great, man.
They party harder than anybody.
Band was such a great time, man. It was awesome.
I'm a theater nerd, right? I teach theater. I'm an actor, all that stuff, director.
Okay.
No party ever got weirder than a theater party. All right.
There's costumes involved in that one.
I learned a lot.
Joel talks about he went to Cal Arts, man, and that place blew some of the stories, like, blows the top of my head off. Like, that sounds all right.
Yeah, it was a Bacchanal drug sex fest, and I was sober at the time, so it was more observing than anything. But
wow.
Good times.
Was this 90s, 2000s?
So I graduated high school in 98. college. I blew through a 4-year degree in 6 years. So I got out of there in 2004 and then did grad school from 06 to 09. So I was out. I was out in California at that time. So
Yeah,
we didn't. What's the name of the barbershop?
Skinny D's.
Skinny
D's barbershop.
Okay.
So one of the things, I mean, I think we're kind of bumping up against our hour, but one of the things, Joel,
Dude, we could talk for 3 more hours.
Yeah, I feel like we could do this for a long time.
Oh my
You
god.
got nothing to do.
Yeah, Sunday, man. I'm chilling.
Yeah. I got a wife and kids chomping at the bit. We
They're
got
like, "Plant
boxes
this tree."
pack, and yeah, it's nuts, man. And my daughter, well, here's like a thing is that in the flurry of last minute packing, we packed my older daughter's computer, and we don't know where it is, and she needs it for homework.
Oh shit.
Ooh.
So it's like that's kind
First
of
things first.
That's what I'm
right.
saying.
That's right.
But one of Joel, you want to ask him the questions?
Oh yeah. So I am fascinated by what people are into. Like,
Okay.
and I think YouTube might have I don't know, what may surprise you that you're listening to right now, or like, what are your top things that you always go? What are your bona fide? Mine is Pearl Jam. I got the poster right behind me. They're my go-to. Steve's is the Grateful Dead. But like, what are your all-time artists that you listen to, or maybe something right now that you're kind of into that you would that might shock people maybe?
Sure. Well, I don't know about shock people, but I think I've talked about this before too. But like my all-time favorite go-to band is Metallica.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
sure.
Metallica. I've been into Metallica since the day I was born. My dad listens to Metallica. Well, when they played the Pinnacle Bank Arena, I had the opportunity to buy my dad tickets to Metallica.
Nice.
It was the first time he's ever seen them. So Metallica is kind of
What's your
Oh,
Metallica album?
my comfort. Ride the Lightning.
Yeah.
Ride the
Whom the
Lightning
bell
for sure.
tolls, baby.
If you were going to say anything after the Black Album, we were going to have words. But
Their new stuff's pretty good. I like their new stuff quite a bit.
what was that one? Death.
Yeah, Death Magnetic.
Dude, when I heard that, I was like, they've gotten back to something.
That's a good one. Yeah, they got it back. And their show, I don't know if either one of you went to the show at PBA, but it was amazing. They had old school TV sets falling from the ceiling with like their old videos playing on them. It was crazy. So yeah, Metallica. As far as something that might surprise people, I mean, I've talked about this too. I like to be an open book. I don't want to be surprising, but I like the Backstreet Boys, man. I'll throw the Backstreet Boys on.
He has admitted that.
Whoa.
Yeah, dude, I love that. I listen. Me and my wife saw the Backstreet Boys in Omaha.
Hold on.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
So unironically like the Backstreet Boys, or like ironic? Because I unironically love Kesha, and I unironically love Hall & Oates.
Me too.
All
Me and my
those,
wife saw
baby.
Kesha in Milwaukee, and it was fantastic.
Nice.
Yeah, I'll
She's
listen
a
to
queen.
Kesha too. But yeah, Backstreet Boys, I know the words, man.
I love it. I fucking love it, dude.
Yeah.
Right.
All right, D.
My go-tos I would have to say Eric B and Rakim. I probably every day I probably shower where I'm Eric B and Rakim's top of my playlist.
Surprising, and everybody likes Eric B and Rakim.
Between Eric B and Rakim and LL Cool J.
Oh, dude.
Surprisingly, and you guys mentioned this morning, man. I love CCR, man. Them's my dudes, man.
Oh, really?
I love that sound. I love that. I know everything. All the albums are my favorite.
That's
I
cool.
put on
them's my favorite white boys in the whole world next to Larry Bird.
All right.
I put next to Larry Bird. Is that what you
Next
said?
to Larry Bird, man. That's my Jesus right there, man. Larry Bird.
I put on Run Through the Jungle yesterday. Actually,
Yeah.
the
yeah.
CC. Oh, dude,
Yeah.
just that
And
that groove is
I'm
so
a-
good.
And what I love about that genre of music, man, you're gonna get a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10-minute song.
Yeah.
And I hear different every time.
Can
Every
I-
time I listen to it.
I'll say it, Steve. Can I interest you in the Grateful Dead?
No, I don't think I've ever listened.
That's
to
such.
Grateful
Don't
Dead.
listen to the studio albums. We'll talk later. That's all. That's a whole
Yeah,
big thing.
we'll give you the good stuff.
That's a whole
Okay.
big thing. Maybe
Right now,
we'll-
right now I'm listening. Well, it's not new. I've always been listening to him, and you may know the L. Michaels Band.
I don't know that.
Oh wow, man! They redid 36 Chambers, Wu-Tang. They redo all of Wu-Tang, man. Check them out. L.
What?
Michaels Band. Oh
They
yeah,
redo all the Wu-Tang stuff.
all of Wu-Tang stuff. L. Michaels, man. Check them out. I call it real funk.
Oh,
Okay.
We had the Parliament era, and that was their own funk.
Yeah.
But this is real funk. You know,
That's
music
my,
guy to music guy. This is real funk.
That's one of my favorite things. I've seen George Clinton 4 or 5 times probably over the years.
Yeah.
And the first time I saw him, I liked him for a long time, but I saw him at the Berkeley Community Theater in Berkeley, California on Halloween of 1993.
That was a show.
It was insane. And it was amazing. I mean, the mothership landed on top of the building and took us 4 hours later, dropped us back off. And we were all like, well, I don't even know what to do now, because that was fucking amazing. It was great, man. I don't remember it, but I'll never forget it, man.
Yeah, my most memorable concert was Run DMC, Public Enemy, and the Beastie Boys.
That was here, wasn't it? At
Pershing Auditorium, brother.
Wow.
I had to beg my mom, and that's where I first heard the Beastie Boys. That's where I first laid eyes, and I was like, "Who are these?" And it wasn't a gimmick. They wasn't making fun of hip hop.
Yeah.
They were doing it. They were doing it. That was the thing. Like if you watch the Fight for Your Right to Party video, it's like that's kind of a gimmick, but then you hear that album and it's like
classic.
They're doing
classic.
It. Yeah.
Classic. And I don't think a lot of people know Paul Revere, man. That song was an accident. That was an accident.
Dude, I can do that whole song. I won't, but I know that whole song. How is it an accident?
It was an accident, man. I think MCA told the story before he passed, man. That beat was an accident.
The like reverse, like that was
backwards.
Dude, I remember my brother and I rolling around in Columbus, Nebraska, my dad's 83 LeSabre. And when that like weird backwards beat happened.
Oh yeah.
I mean, we were transcended to a different dimension.
Yeah. Now, I mean, it just gets
it's a little story.
Yeah. That's got to be one of my favorites, man. I probably should have put them out there too.
The Beasties.
I should work on a top 10, right?
Dude, yeah, give us your list, man, because like
a top 10's hard, man. I'm
all
over the place, man. I'm like
hard.
My music
I miss Scarface, man. I hate that I miss Scarface, man. Scarface. My favorite.
Yeah.
The Ghetto Boys.
I mean, I'll listen to everything except country. Like I have a favorite album from every genre except country music, and even country. Like I like Johnny Cash. I like Coulter Wall.
Right.
I just don't like
country.
Right. I don't like my beer fell off my tractor.
Right.
Like Waylon. I listen to Waylon. Waylon Jennings. I looked at he was a gangster to me. He wasn't sure. That was a gangster.
Was
for sure.
Cash. Sure. Those were
Billy
gangsters.
Nelson. Like, come on.
That's a gangster.
Yep.
Oh, I love you guys.
Yeah, this has been so much fun.
I don't want to go.
I feel like this is a really good episode, man. This is a good episode.
I feel like on the playground when you meet a new friend, you're like you don't want to leave the playground because you're like
word.
You guys are welcome back on this podcast.
Yeah, anytime. We'll have to talk. Who knows? Maybe this could turn into a thing.
It might. Hey, yeah, I'm with it, man. I'm with it.
All right. Yeah. Well, God, I'm so glad that I'm thankful to Danny Renault for saying you guys got to check these dudes out. Yeah. And it's really cool to know that you're out there. And I don't know, maybe I need to stop in and get a shave.
Come on in, brother.
Hey, here's the thing. I got to ask one question, and I'm probably going to regret asking it.
Oh, God.
But what's the deal with space not being real?
You just opened up a can of worms right before we're about. Okay,
I know.
Yeah, that's
gonna clear my schedule.
I got time. My whole thing is,
I heard that and I went, okay.
Speaking of theater, I have a client who has to be a thespian. And maybe you've heard of this, the fourth wall effect. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah.
How in a sitcom show, we only see the 3 walls. They never show us the 4th wall where the magic is happening, where they're fooling us.
Yep.
Editing everything. Well, just the other day when they sent the capsule up, they should have cameras, thousands, if not millions of cameras on the outside of that thing. I want to see space. I want to see what you guys supposedly saw. I pan out, pan in, show me Venus, Saturn, Mars, whatever the hell is out there. I need to see all of it. Until they can show me that, I don't believe it.
You're not in. Okay.
But then what's the word? I learned the word ionosphere. And, if we all, kind of figure out what the ionosphere, nothing's allowed in or out of it.
So, Okay. So you okay. So you're saying you want proof beyond the ionosphere to sort of see what that world is before
Exactly. I need to see if we can see Venus shining in the sky thousands of miles away. However, when you go up there, you should be a little bit closer. Show us.
Okay.
You show me.
Okay, we're gonna
I probably will have a problem with space. I believe more in the ocean than I do the sky. And we may be able to get off of the Earth 1,000, 2,000 miles, but there's a barrier that I don't think any man-made machine can really get outside of without killing everybody.
So is the Mars rover, in your estimation, the Mars rover is just theatrics?
That Mars rover is in Yuma, Arizona.
I mean, to be
all right.
To be fair, for the record, I'm on the Space is Real team.
Okay.
But to be fair, those Mars rover pictures that's exactly what 29 Palms, California looks like.
All right.
Yeah, I know. I've been to the high desert too, man, and it's real. Like,
yeah. So yeah, some of those pictures, I'm like, yeah, I've been there, but I do think space is real. For the record, I'm on
you guys
but
kill me, man.
It's one of the things that like the first time I came in here to get my haircut, they were telling me about how space isn't real, and I went home and I was like, I
got my haircut and my mind blown.
I was like,
I can
barbershop is
tell
fucking
you,
crazy.
He had to come back more for that than the haircut.
Those conversations do not happen at Supercuts.
That's right.
And that's part of the reason we started a podcast too. We're like, man, we need to capture these conversations.
Yes.
Yeah.
Share them with the world because we talk about some crazy shit sometimes, and we're the only ones that hear.
I mean, why stop going to the moon in 72 with all the technology that we have? I mean, we're growing body parts. We're doing amazing things in the medical field and science together. I mean,
because you can't. There's no oil.
Yeah,
there's no oil.
It's expensive.
Right. Yeah. There's nothing on there to take.
Yeah,
so,
if there were any resources there, it would have been war for the moon since then.
Right. At least a tour. I mean, give some tours. I mean,
right.
at least
a vacation module or something for the super rich.
I mean, and then to dig into that like I did, and then they say they lost the technology. I took it like it maybe had been destroyed, but to say we've lost the technology and to be where we are today with technology, I can't fall for the banana in the tailpipe.
Yeah, I mean that's the whole thing. NASA got funded though, right? So.
Yeah, right. Initially, that broke them. Yeah.
All right. Well, that's a hell of a way to tie things off. Guys,
next time we have you guys on, we're gonna decide whether space is real or whether birds are real.
We'll have like a cage match on it.
Is the moon flat? Here we go.
Right.
I'm
all right, guys.
I love you guys.
Yeah,
so great to meet you. What an amazing time. You guys are always welcome back.
Yep.
Yes,
Can't wait to have you on again for real. So
yeah, absolutely. I suppose I should plug our stuff really quick.
Please.
Do it. Yeah. Oh my God.
Always Chillin podcast. We're everywhere that you listen to podcasts, probably. And if we're not, it's pretty easy for me to do it. So let us know. We'll get on there. We're on YouTube. Follow us on Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, all that stuff. Send us an email, alwayschillinpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know if you like the show, if you hate us. We take all feedback, not just the good stuff. So
same.
Right on, guys.
I love it.
All right.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Happy holidays if you celebrate. If you don't celebrate, enjoy your week. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
thank you.
You guys too. Thank you for having us on, man. This is great. This is really fun.
Yeah.
Boy, Early in the morning, late in the afternoon and evening, sometime too. In the midnight hour, I need your love. And I'm a big old man and I can't stand a little woman and you don't want to give it to me. Just get a little bit harder and I got to give it some away. I just get a little bit harder and I gotta get it some way. I just got to give it to you.
Thank you.
Don't forget, toot your hooter.